This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 987. Simplify Your Mornings by Melani Schweder of abrighterwild.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, welcome to a Tuesday edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is one of 5 podcasts where we read to you from blogs for free, so that you don't have to read them yourself. Except on Fridays. That's where I usually answer your questions. And in fact, this Friday, I'm going to do something a little special. I'm actually going to answer 2 questions. So definitely come back this Friday to hear my responses. Oh, and don't forget to check out our other shows. Just search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you're hearing this. Now, regarding today's topic, if you're no longer having to physically go to work or drop the kids off at school these days because of the quarantine, today's topic may not seem particularly applicable, but so much of what Melani discusses can still be applied today. This is because, especially during these odd and trying times, we may forget to take time for ourselves and appreciate the fact that we are well and safe. So, listen on as we get to today's post and start optimizing your life. Simplify Your Mornings by Melani Schweder of abrighterwild.com. How many times have you hit the snooze on your alarm and then had to rush around to get everything done before you had to leave for the day? Too often, we start each day in a flurry of activity and stress, running around in a race against the clock to tick off the boxes of our morning routines. We drag ourselves out of bed and off we go, taking a shower, making breakfast, checking emails, letting the dog out. The list is never ending, and we train ourselves to make it out the door on time. Mornings have become synonymous with chaos and frenzy. But what if you could choose a better way? What did mornings look like before the dawning of our work-obsessed, technologically overloaded age? Before the era of uber productivity and stress, mornings used to be a time of calm and reflection. People would take a few extra moments to savor the warmth of their beds before easing into their routines, taking the time to cook a nourishing breakfast instead of grabbing something packaged that they could eat while driving. Those first precious hours of sunlight were sacred time for greeting the day and allowing our bodies and brains the space to fully wake up before launching into the day's work. And while many of us cannot fully embrace this leisurely kind of morning all the time, there are things we can do to make ours a lot less frazzled. In order to make a lasting change, especially to something that has become a long ingrained habit, we have to set a clear and passionate intention. You have to ask yourself if you really truly want your mornings to be different, or if you could honestly be fine continuing on as you always have. Breaking habits and installing new ones can be challenging, so it's important to clarify why you want a more peaceful and simple morning routine. Beyond that, it's all just details. Remember that simplicity is all about embracing the essentials and nothing more. The list of things you need to do before you go to work, start school, or launch into your errands perhaps doesn't have to be so long. Making your mornings peaceful and smooth has a lot to do with preparation. You've probably read plenty of self-help articles about how to plan ahead, but maybe never gotten in the habit of doing it? No? Just me? Well, when it comes to mornings, especially if you have a busy household, preparation is key. Because when you are well prepared, you can create space for yourself to breathe and check in with your body and spirit, which is an essential part of a mindful life. Too many of us rush through our days without taking time to stop, listen, and set an intention for how we want to move forward. And mornings can serve as this sacred space to do just that. Quote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Marcus Aurelius. Having a more simple morning is easier than you may think. Start planning ahead for things like meals and outfits. And don't be afraid to recruit help for things like making coffee or walking the dog. Leave your phone off while you get ready and savor your breakfast in the quiet. Train yourself to get up just a little bit earlier so you don't have to rush. Clear your closet and bathroom of all non-essential clutter. And greet the day with gratitude and a positive intention. Your mindful invitation. Find at least 1 to 2 areas of your morning routine that could be planned ahead of time. Enlist your partner or roommate in this process if possible. Consider using a checklist, chore wheel, or habit tracker if that would be helpful. Also, carve out at least 5 to 10 minutes for quiet time in the morning. It doesn't sound like much, but it can dramatically shift your mood. Use this time to meditate, do a few yoga stretches, or simply sit on your porch and sip your coffee. Don't shortchange yourself by staying in bed later and skipping your sacred time, but notice how much nicer your days feel when you have simple and soul-centered mornings. You just listened to the post titled, Simplify Your Mornings by Melani Schweder of abrighterwild.com. Dr. Neil here for my commentary. See, I told you that this article would still be valuable. Anecdotally, during this whole quarantine thing, what I'm hearing from friends and family is they no longer have structure to their days. Instead, they wake up whenever they feel like it, mosey around the house aimlessly in their pajamas, flip on Netflix, eat something whenever they feel hungry, nap, and repeat. It may not seem like it, but I'm positive there are things you could be doing to keep yourself busy and productive, but more importantly, fulfilled. I really like Melani's idea of making a list. Is there a book that's been sitting on your shelf for years or in your Kindle store that you've been meaning to read but just never had the time? What about that little cleaning project around the house, like the office you've always wanted to organize, or the family budget you wanted to create, or finally start that at-home bodyweight exercise program, or write that article or book you always wanted to? Or as Melanie suggested, take the time to just turn off all devices and just sit in some peace and quiet and enjoy the moment. When this whole quarantine thing ends and life gets back to normal, think about how great it will be when someone asks, "So, how'd you spend your quarantine days?" To respond with something like, "I got in shape," or "I finished my book and it was really interesting because blah, 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 blah," or "I learned the real meaning of something Marcus Aurelius said thousands of years ago. It's a privilege to be alive." All right, that's enough out of me for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber of the show. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.